What's going on, boys? How you guys doing? What's up, Nils, Ricky, G Money, Turkey? Thank you, G Money. Appreciate it, bro. Turkey, yeah, bro. Amazing day. Papa Ganush, Tonka, Devinder, how you guys doing? Hope you guys had a great day. I had a pretty good day. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna go over a couple of trades, why they didn't work. Well, they did work. We made money on them, but why they didn't work. What's up, Ginger? How you doing? I hope you guys had a blessed week. I know most of us at MSL were pretty bearish this week, and must have been hard for some of the bulls, but your time will come as well. There will be a time to go into calls. Even the rallies are super vicious in a bear market. But for right now, the trend is down. There's no reason, in my opinion, to take farther out calls. There's no reason to even take gambles on calls. Even scalping, like I know last week I was hitting a lot of scalps. Monday I called out ENPH, or was that last week? I don't even remember. But the thing is, I've realized even in my own trading, you guys have known, like I'm in longer term puts and then I'll scalp calls, but the scalping calls things just kind of messes with my mindset. Because if I jump in scalping calls, then I start thinking like, oh, what if we actually bounce big? So instead of even scalping calls, I'm more focused on trying to time where the bounce is ending and then adding puts and scalping puts. When the weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour is all pointing down and you're trying to catch a 5 minute move up, it just screws with your mindset. So I'd rather just focus on the puts and the downside. What's up, Dinesh? How you doing? Dhruv, you finally got your 420 on SPY. Congratulations. So let's go over some plays here. SPY, obviously, complete downtrend. We told you right in the morning if we took out some of these key levels on SPX, we are going to have a clear downtrend. Yesterday's gap was filled within the first 20 minutes on SPY, and it never stopped. What's up, Andrew? How you doing? So it's pretty obvious. One thing you have to write down or note it, whatever you guys want to do, however you remember stuff. When we had a huge gap up, when we came down, if there was bulls in this market, if there was people heavily buying, what usually would have happened, we would have went, filled the gap, and we would have had at least a small bounce. Even if we bounced and then came back below, that would have shown you that bulls are active here. But right off the bat, we just flushed right through the gap, went back up, retested VWAP almost, and then just downtrend. Little bounce here, then downtrend. End of the day, just complete selling. No one wanted to hold it over the weekend. And it's understandable. As FOMC, there's a war going on right now. I mean, it's just, there's no reason. I pointed out this chart the other day. Every time we've bounced to this trend line, it's down more, bounced to the trend line, down more, bounce to the trend line almost, and then down more. So there's no reason for me to get bullish unless we close above 441 one day. And that day is far away. That day is 21 points away. So there's no reason to get bullish at all, in my opinion, yet. I do think we're going to go test these February 24th lows. One of the main reasons being because Apple still is over the 200-day. Stocks are getting ruined. Like, if you guys look at some stocks, they're getting wrecked. Like, they're down 80-90% from highs, and Apple's still above the 200-day. So when you think a stock can't go any lower, it can absolutely go lower, and I'll show you some proof at the end of the video here. QQQ, much of the same. QQQ is noticeably weaker than the rest of the market today. Down 2% today, down almost $7, and it's the same story as SPY. There's a clear trend line. Until we break and hold over this trend line, there's nothing bullish about this market at all. QQQ is going to go test these February 24th lows, in my opinion. What's up, Darren? Unless the Fed does something insane, like we're going to keep quantitative easing even though we have a debt bigger than we've ever had, which I don't think they'll do, they're screwed either way. And there might be a temporary rally because they might only raise rates a quarter point. But even if it's a quarter point, I mean, they're raising interest rates in the worst economy. Like, everything is going bad right now. Inflation at almost 8% is awful, and you guys well know, you guys go grocery shopping, you go to the gas station, inflation is a lot more than 10%. So I think it's just going to keep getting worse and worse, and the economy does not look too good right now. And one thing that is notable, guys, one thing that I want you to notice that you'll remember for the rest of your lives, going into an FOMC that they're supposed to raise interest rates, when rates are going up, banks are supposed to be strong. They're selling banks into the FOMC meeting. That's not good news. That just means the whole market is dead. Like, it's gone. Look at the clear trend line. Every time we've gotten up to the trend line, just reject. Until we break over this trend line and hold, there's not even a reason to buy calls, in my opinion. XLF right now, we can go all the way back down here. We still have to fill this gap. If you guys don't count the wick, sometimes I count the wick, sometimes I don't. But there's a gap on XLF. until 30, what was it, right about here, until 36 bucks. So another 40 cents down on XLF would put us about at this gap here if you don't count the wick. And much lower coming, in my opinion. I mean, XLF is the one that took out February 24th low, was way up at 36.80. We're trading under the February 24th low on XLF already, whereas SPY and QQQ are above it. XLF is already below it. IWM, complete trash. I mean, it was stronger than the rest of them today, but this is a bearish engulfing candle on the daily on IWM. Bearish engulfing is usually the most bearish candle you can probably print on an index, guys. And it looks like it's going much lower. February 24th lows are at 187.92, probably headed down there. It's just kind of basing. VIX was very weird today. VIX threw me off. There's only one explanation I can think about on VIX. Why were we down on VIX and down on SPY? I think it's because people were rolling out. We have VIX expiration next Wednesday. A lot of people probably had calls for the VIX next Wednesday. They probably sold those for profit yesterday and today, and they rolled them out to April VIX expiration. So that's all I can think about right here. But even at the end of the day, people were buying more VIX. So they're buying more VIX. We closed green on VIX. It saved the 200. That little line I drew here was just a line I drew so I could watch it intraday. And you guys see the 21-day moving average? They saved it right at the end. So they closed the VIX right on top of the 21-day moving average, kept the uptrend intact. Now this looks more like a bull flag than a breakdown. It looks more like they're just consolidating after a huge run, and now they're going to rip it even more. And that wouldn't surprise me, especially with the FOMC next week and this war going on. SPX, we gave the levels in the morning. They're pretty spot on. I told you guys 43.20 would probably cap it. If all the bulls in the world showed up, I don't think SPX would get over 43.20 today. I called it right in the morning. Someone argued with me. I said, just wait and watch, I guess. We didn't even get to 4300. We came right down, and 42.80 was a magnet level. You guys seen it. The last few days, the bulls have been trying to fight and hold 42.80 like over and over and over again. Today, they just gave up. Like, the bulls just took charge, just completely flushed it through their 15 minutes straight. Little bounce to VWAP. Crushed it right back down. We lost to 42.50. They tried to save it at 42.40, bounced it a little bit, and then right back down. And as soon as we lost 42.40 with some momentum, went straight down, sliced 42.20, and we ended at 4200, which was my last SPX level of the day. What's up, Gravinder? How you doing? Thank you, Papa Ganesh. I appreciate that. And yeah, exactly, Turkey. There's absolutely no reason to be bullish right now. So this is the trade I wanted to go over, this DB. This was the most annoying trade because I was kind of heavy in this one. But the thing with DB was I have March 18th 10.5 puts for 50 cents. We bought them around 1060, 1070. So if the VIX was normal today, if we had like a normal day like we had here or here, like anything, like any kind of uptrend on VIX during the day, I think these DB puts would have been at least 90 cents to $1. Like at least 90% on those puts or 100% on those puts. Just from the entry to here in 2 days, we got that move with a week out. But we ended up selling them for 60 cents, which is very, it wasn't very good value for my buck, if you want to say it like that. I mean, it's been straight down. Look at this, how ugly it is. So my plan on these is I'm just going to take that and I'm going to roll them out into April's because I think this is one of the ugliest charts I've ever seen. It's a Dutch bank, Deutsche Bank. I mean, Europe is going very badly for them over there. And look at this. It's just literally a bear flag to the 8-day moving average. This is picture perfect textbook stuff, guys. When it dumps too far, it bounces to the 8-day moving average and then rejects, and then we go and test these lows again at 946. So I'm going to roll these into $9 puts or $8 puts for April, and we'll see how those ones go because I think this one has a lot more to go down. Apple, this correction will not, I've said it probably 15 times by now, this correction will not even be close to being over until Apple closes under the 200-day moving average. Apple 200-day moving average is at 153.61. Today we got to 154.50, so there's still another $1 down in Apple to even consider that the correction is over, and I don't think it's just going to dip below it and then correction over and we're going to rip. It's going to take some time, so let's see what Apple does next week, but I wouldn't even consider any kind of correction over until we close under there. UPS, this one, We added to our puts today. There's a reason to add to them. I mean, Bookie loved the setup. I love the setup. Weekly could not break out. We're just kind of range bound here, and it's almost like a bear flag up to the 21-day moving average. Today we rejected almost exactly off the 21-day moving average and came right down, and another bearish engulfing candle. So when you have a green day and then the next day is red, it opens higher and closes lower than the previous day. That's called a bearish engulfing candle. That means the bear is just completely in control in this chart right now. And Monday, I would not be surprised by a huge gap down. In anything that had a bearish engulfing candle today, I think big gap down on Monday is possible. TSM, we had that huge flow. Obviously, Ricky found out it was a strangle, but I mean, 30 million in strangles, that means they're expecting a big move out of TSM. Another bearish engulfing candle opened, what was yesterday's high? 105.53. Well, almost a bearish engulfing. I'd call it a bearish engulfing. It's just nonsense, whatever. It tried to get over the 8-day moving average today. Again, guys, it's the same thing on every chart. When you go on the daily charts, it makes it look so easy. Like, it's a downtrend. It bounces to the 8-day, dumps, bounces to the 8-day, and look what it did today. So TSM, I think we go and test these lows over here at 98.60s. And the company is wicked. I love TSM as a company. I want equity, but right now is not the time to be buying equity, in my opinion. You can just go through all the charts, like they're all destroyed. What in this weekly chart tells you that the sell-off is over? Like, I don't see any moving average. I don't see any support until about 94 bucks maybe. Take a little shot, but other than that, I mean, there's a lot of downside to come. When you guys see these runs, these weekly runs that take it from 76 all the way to 142, the exact opposite is also possible. Remember that. These squeezes that took it a double in 3-4 months here, in 3-4 months here, they can take that run right back. So stocks go up, they go down. You just gotta play it to the best of your ability. Etsy, amazing short. Bookie took this one. Amazing call by him. I'm gonna give him the credit. He absolutely nailed it. We had a little earnings gap up here, kind of rounded out. We had some resistance over here at 160. We took the 150 puts. Today it's trading at 120. My biggest problem was not rolling. I should have rolled the 150 profits into the 140s. I should have sold the 140s and rolled it into 130s, but it goes how it goes. I'm short a lot of names anyways. Bucky actually did that. Absolutely nailed this short, I think, to perfection. And we're just breaking down, and we're going to go test this 109 most likely on Etsy here. Lucid, one play I took for next week. It's kind of a gamble. It's kind of technical. I mean, their earnings were terrible. I think they delivered like, I don't even know how many cars. They complained about supply chain issues, complained about everything. We got a little bear flag going here. Next week, if we break below today's low, which is 22.83 or 22.81 was today's low. If we open on Monday under 22.81, I think a bigger flush is coming on Lucid. We have basically no support down here until all the way at 18 bucks, which would put our basic put lottos in the money. Other than that, let's see where we open. I do expect a gap down on Monday, especially with today's TSM. I already did the niche. What else we got? I do, especially with today's price action, I expect a gap down on Monday for sure. Facebook looks like trash. I mean, what do you want me to say about this one? There is kind of a triple bottom here at one. So we have 187, 186, and today's low is 186. So Facebook, if it breaks below 186, I'm gonna have to go find support back here somewhere. We're going back into the COVID little V shape, guys. This is not good. Not really any support here. I mean, if it breaks 186, your guess is as good as mine where it goes. It's a great company, but their growth was really bad. I told you guys right after earnings, a lot of people were asking me, should I buy equity in Facebook? It's down. What did they say? It's down 26%. It's Facebook. Should I buy some equity? Their earnings were not good, guys. Their growth was less. I think their growth projection was 3 to 11%. When a growth company turns into a value company, the valuation gets destroyed completely. And Facebook, as you guys see, I told you guys avoid it, and I think you would have been better off just avoiding it. We had one good day since earnings, maybe. It was up 4.6%, but again, that's just an oversold bounce. And in every bear market, there's vicious rallies up. So Facebook under 186, I think it completely dies. If we hold 186, we can make our way back up to 208. That's it on Facebook. BA, we actually took shorts on this one today. I can't go over all the names we took short because this post market would be an hour and a half long. But BA is just a beautiful bear flag. I mean, so this is a daily chart. I drew these ones on the 30-minute and hourly actually. Let's go into this one right here. So if you zoom out on BA here, so we had this little dump and then a bounce, formed a little bear flag, and then when it broke, look at the disaster. So it completely dumped, and then we bounced, formed another bear flag, and today we broke down. And you guys can zoom in, you can take a look at this BA. Bucky's been calling out for days. I was waiting for my entry for a long time. We broke down, little tiny bounce, and then flush into the end of the day. Close near the low of the day. On the daily, it's ugly. On the weekly, it's ugly. On the smaller time frames, it's ugly. I mean, there's nothing bullish about BA to me. And Bucky watched a documentary, and he said it's a shitty company, so I shorted it as well. And on these puts, let's see where the target is. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my thing right here. But yeah, as far as BA goes, I had this range drawn out on BA. As you guys probably know, I had this little parallel channel. I deleted it today because I wanted to see it better when I was shorting it. But if you guys take a look at this little channel here, we just broke below it today. And it's a long, well, we did break below it, and now we kind of retested it. Depending on where you draw your line, you can change it a lot. There's a lot of wicks on this chart. But it broke down basically March 7th. It broke down. We had a little oversold bounce here, and now we're just curling back down. So it looks like we're going to H over in BA as well, which is exactly what we want to see if you're short. It just kind of bounced a little bit, got the RSI cooled off, and now we're just going right back lower. I think BA has a date with 163 again, these previous lows, so let's see where it goes. He's inspired off that movie on Netflix about BA, yeah. He was so inspired, I think he took like $150 puts or something, man. Like something crazy. Netflix is trash as well. All these charts are completely broken, guys. People ask me all the time, should I start scaling into equity? I honestly cannot answer that question right now. It all depends on what Jay Powell says. He can absolutely pump the market for 2-3 weeks. But longer term time frames, like look at this weekly. Netflix was in a weekly range for about a year. We're breaking down multi-year bases and stuff here. So Netflix, look, it took 2 years in this base to finally break up. And then it just consolidated for another 2-ish years, something like that. Finally broke up, and then look at this weekly action since then. Straight down in a line. And this is Netflix, one of the biggest companies in the world, guys. So just keep in mind before you start scaling into equity, this thing can go on for a long time. The only equity I bought is Palantir, and that's because I am obsessed with Palantir and Kathy Wood sold out. But other than that, have a good weekend, guys. I hope you guys had a good week. I'll see you next week.